Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Let's get it going. Charles Gasparino was reporting on, he had gotten into Gary Gensler's recent public calendar release. It says that Chair Gensler's public calendar suggests he's gearing up to take on high frequency trading. More on this now on Liz Clayman, and he did a little segment on it. And I said, hey Charles, good stuff, but I'll bet you'll get twice the viewership if you cover these entries in the Gary Gensler public calendar. And I was pointing him out to the Andreessen Horowitz meeting on October 21st. Then I wanted to show him this one. This one right here, somebody needs to be, if you want to hold the SEC chairman of the United States accountable, ask him what on God's green earth he could have to say to George Soros, who has been anti-American as anybody that I've ever heard. Why would our SEC chairman need to talk to him? I mean, what is going on, folks? Now, CoinDesk, crypto.com customers need to sign, this was today or yesterday. Customers need to sign back into their accounts and reset their 2FA following a suspension of withdrawals on the platform caused by unauthorized activity. And then this was their tweet. We have a small number of users reporting suspicious activity on their accounts. We'll be pausing withdrawals shortly as our team is investigating. Now, later in the day, they updated it and said the withdrawal services have been restored. All funds are safe. It will take time to clear the backlogs. We appreciate your patience. Folks, look, I'm not saying you can't leave anything on these things. Get a Nano S. There's a family pack. I'm putting this it's towards the top of the description of this video. You can click on the link and go and get a Ledger Nano S. And when you do, this is how to have your private keys in your possession. Once you write down your 24 passphrases, as long as you write those down and you never give them to anyone, your stuff is safe, okay? And don't click any phishing links or anything. Also, you need to go ahead, with this market, the bad guys are coming out of nowhere. Everybody that's listening to my voice needs to have an antivirus software and a virtual private network. I've got a link to this in the top of the description of this video too. It is a dangerous world out there. Now, there is an upcoming hearing on January the 20th, hearing on cleaning up cryptocurrency, the energy impacts of blockchain. And so this is coming up. This is why a lot of people are mad at Ripple. They say that Ripple has thrown this conversation out there and it's a bunch of FUD. Well, it's actually true about Bitcoin and proof of work systems. So they're going to have a talk about it. Now, Anthony Pompliano had tweeted this. Forward has just agreed to move their online payments to Stripe. Every business is having to figure out payments and financial services for the digital age. I agree with him there. We depart when it comes to Bitcoin as the end-all be-all. Bitcoin is all it will ever be is a store of value, and that's because they realized that it couldn't do what the Bitcoin white paper said it was going to do, which is payments. And so once they decided that, they all sat in a room somewhere and they said, look, we're going to have to call this a store of value in digital gold because we've all got these heavy-duty investments in this, and we want this to stick around. And that's what they did. So, and I said it was never Bitcoin. So in this case, Ford has agreed to move their online payments to Stripe. Well, let me show you something you probably didn't know about Stripe. Stripe backs 2014. Stripe backs nonprofit decentralized payment network Stellar from Mt. Gox's original creator. Here's in the article. But Stellar is distributing half of its initial amount to anyone who will sign up for it through the program. Stripe is getting 2% of Stellar's in existence in exchange for $3 million. That would be XLM. And there's one other thing you need to see. When Stripe, back before 2018, Stripe was letting people use Bitcoin. And then on January 23rd of 2018, they said, we've been long excited about the possibility of cryptocurrencies. And then they became the first major payments company to support Bitcoin payments. Our hope was that Bitcoin could become a universal decentralized substrate for online transactions and help customers enable buyers in places that had less credit card penetration or use cases where credit card fees were prohibitive. Over the past year or two, as block size limits have been reached, Bitcoin has evolved to become a better suited to being an asset than being a means of exchange, given the overall success, Anyway, bottom line is Bitcoin didn't deliver on the promise of the white paper, and so they had to end their Bitcoin support, and they're trying to be nice by saying, well, it can be an asset, it can be an investment, but it just can't be something for payments, period. That's the fact, Jack, okay? Mr. BXRP was apparently at the North American Bitcoin Conference, took this picture of Mark Cuban, okay? And there was a clip that was sent to me of Mark Cuban. Listen to what he says.
I think, and I've said this before, that I think stable coins will get regulated, and I think that's a good idea, and I'll tell you why. Because they're called stable coins. And there's a whole, when you say you're pegged to the dollar, you better live up to it. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money and they're going to shut your ass down. And while, the libertarians, they should have known, do your own DYOR, right? Tough shit. That's just not the way, a country typically works, right? Government doesn't want to see their citizens getting their ass kicked, right? Particularly by foundations that are based overseas.
And the difference in this bull run is now we have stable coins, and that's creating a whole different world of people are keeping their money in the industry, in crypto, with stable coins, and that needs to be sorted out.
Well, yeah, and look, there's algorithmic stable coins, which are even the people who created them, the people who buy them have no clue what's going to happen next. And so just the term stable coin, and look, I say this right, it doesn't mean they're going to get regulation right. And that's a big risk. So when you look at the stock market, the SEC's they're fucked up. And
So he said it, I didn't say it. Now, this was another clip from Digital Perspectives, and I said this is why the Ethereum free pass, the topic of it is so important. It was an attempted monopoly through regulatory capture. Let Bitcoin and Ethereum through the door, then selectively target their competitors. Watch this.
You got Ethereum, and as gas fees got bigger and bigger, that limited some of the applications. So you saw, Parachain, you saw Sidechain, you saw L2s come in, and that allowed more applications. But all these blockchains are in a death war. There's not enough room for all these blockchains. And so they're out there spending a lot of money to get copycat applications to run on each of them, right? So you see DeFi hopping to all these games to get TVL, total value locked, to try to make themselves look big, right? And it's just more gamesmanship than actual utilization.
I like that word for a thumbnail. Did he say death war?
Parachain, you saw Sidechain, you saw L2s come in, and that allowed more applications, but all these blockchains are in a death war. There's not enough room for.
So he did say death war. That's a thumbnail right there. Now, speaking of, folks, in the last 24 hours or so, Cardano has had similar or higher transaction volume compared to Ethereum. The fees on Cardano totaled a mere $66,000 to process all of it. Over $4 billion in transactional volume. Ethereum cost over $44 million in fees. Folks, the only reason Bitcoin and Ethereum have been touted for the last 3 or 4 years is because a group got together and got them free passes, got the Hinman speech, and ever since then, they've acted like Bitcoin and Ethereum were the end game, the end all be all. And the truth of the matter is, Bitcoin and Ethereum are lesser technologies than so many of the things that are out there. They're lesser technologies, just off the top of my head, than XLM, than XRP, than Cardano, than Solana, than Algo, then VeChain, then Hedera Hashgraph, you name it. I could name 10 or 12 that they are lesser technologies than, but they tried to get this done through regulatory capture, through cozying up, and you have an SEC who has protected Bitcoin and Ethereum to the detriment of the United States technologically for the last, 3 years, since June 14th, 2018, when Bill Hinman gave that speech. It is a sham, and everybody knows it. Here's a funny clip. Let me do the refresh. And I don't know when this is from. I just had never heard it before.
We only have 30 seconds left, and we have to get in the game we always play at CB Insights every year. One of the reasons I like this conference, overrated or underrated. So I'll say three things, and you go first, David. Bitcoin, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Overrated.
Ooh. Ethereum.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Oh. Gary Gensler.
I can give you one on that one. John Deaton had retweeted the Barry Silbert tweet we talked about the other day. I have no way to know whether one or more of the 20,673 messages. I can't believe that number. That's really what I wanted to show you. There have been 20,673 messages that have been sent via Crypto Law. Let's check it out. Crypto Law is John Deaton's law firm website, and you go to crypto-law.us, click Connect to Congress, and it's as simple as that, folks. So awesome. Now I want to show you this because this bothers me. This right here, it was a red flag to me. This is Michelle Bond. Okay, this was on the FTX official YouTube channel. Okay, now it's important that you know who Michelle Bond is, but first I'm going to show you the video. I want you to watch this video, and in part one is Michelle Bond from a few days ago, and she's talking about how she's one of these people who works in regulation. She's works for an industry association. Now, so at the first half of this, she's going to tell you what they're working on. They're trying to create a self-regulatory organization. They're working with Congress. And then the second half, you're going to hear the report from Charles Gasparino. It was on May 10th or May 11th of 2018. It was one of those. I think it was the 10th. Anyway. So, and then you're going to hear Charles Gasparino talking about, he's reporting on the Brooklyn Project. And his reporting was that they were trying to create working with the SEC and the CFTC to create a self-regulatory organization. We now know that all they were doing with the Brooklyn Project was trying to get Bitcoin and Ethereum properly regulated to get them a free pass. They weren't worried about the rest of the crypto industry. So the reason I put these together is to make this point. In both clips, they're talking about creating a self-regulatory organization. In 2018, it was disguised as an industry group, but was only working on behalf of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And in the clip, she says Senator Loomis is helping her work on this. So I wanted to make Senator Loomis know, let Senator Loomis know, Charles Gasparino know, and Michelle Bond know that we're watching, because this time we can't have it where they're working only on behalf of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all things built on Ethereum. This time they need to be working on behalf of the industry overall. They need to be working on behalf of Cardano, on behalf of Hedera Hashgraph, on behalf of Ripple, everybody. If this is an industry thing, don't say it's an industry thing if it's a Bitcoin Ethereum thing. That's what I'm talking about. And we are watching. So here's what she says. Let me do a refresh here. And we need to be watching. Here's why we need to be watching. Because these Bitcoin and Ethereum people have proven that they can't be trusted. And I'm not saying she's one of them, but I'm going to show you what I see so far, which is the reason my flags are up.
Working extensively with Capitol Hill to potentially create a self-regulatory organization for crypto. So that's to come. I'm very excited about that, the prospects of that. Senator Lummis is looking to roll out a bipartisan bill in the next couple of weeks. And that will, I think 80 pages of that bill is actually dedicated to creating a self-regulatory organization for a broad-based industry association like ATOM So that's something that we would be excited to see, and we would certainly apply for it if there's ever an opportunity. So,
and it's created by two, I would say, industry leaders, a guy named Joe Lubin, Andrew Keys. They're part of something known as Ethereum and Consensus. These are big cryptocurrency blockchain companies. They are working on this through this thing known as the Brooklyn Project. They have a lot of sources and friends on Wall Street. This, to me, will be the way that cryptocurrency and blockchain, the technology, gets beyond the sewage rationale. They are going to lead the effort to essentially systematize and rationalize and create a consumer protection organization with blockchain and cryptocurrency, and this is the key thing, because they are working, from what I understand, with the SEC, the CFTC on this, a self-regulatory organization, which will differentiate between stuff that can be regulated as securities, like Bitcoin, and other stuff that you have through blockchain, like computer technology.
Okay, so why does this bother me? Why does Michelle Bond, why does it bother me a little bit? I'll show you why. She used to work at Ripple in the regulatory area for Ripple. She left about a year ago or something like that, and nobody ever said why she left. She doesn't have Ripple if you look at her LinkedIn profile here, she doesn't even have Ripple in her LinkedIn profile. And now she's with this Association for Digital Asset Markets, is where she works. Now, she used to be with the SEC, I believe, as I recall. Let's see. Was it the SEC or, yeah, right here. She was with the SEC and also in the Senate, worked for the Senate or something. But this is her organization, okay? And once again, the same thing that I keep seeing in all these industry organizations that supposedly are looking out for the crypto industry. If you look closely, most of them are very Bitcoin, Ethereum centric, and hers is no different. Look at all these companies. Most of the company, there's Mike Novogratz's firm. Most of these companies, there's Genesis, Genesis is digital currency group, I think. But most of these are Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's Fireblocks where Jay Clayton is, okay? But most of the BlockFi, Grayscale, Cumberland, let's see, I'm not sure about all these other, but anyway, very, very Bitcoin, Ethereum centric, most of these things, okay? So my flags are up, and all we want is a level playing field, and we want industry, these people that call themselves industry groups or associations that are working on behalf of the crypto industry, don't just pay it lip service, don't just lobby for Bitcoin and Ethereum like what has been done in the past. We want to hear your support for Ripple or Stellar or Cardano or Hedera Hashgraph. It's not just the Bitcoin Ethereum show. We want to put an end to that. And I think that Tom Emmer had tweeted this out the other day. We covered it. And I think that since he's involved up there, that he's one of the good guys. And I think maybe we're going to get industry representation instead of just Bitcoin and Ethereum. But we're going to be sitting here watching, okay? And we're going to call them out if we see the same old, same old. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that we're not going to take it anymore. I think that's a song.